Sangoma seeks by contemplation and self-surrender to attain union with the deity, believing in the spiritual apprehension of truth transcending understanding. We look and do not see. We hear and do not listen. But the Sangoma knows that nature provides all the answers to man's needs.
Africa is undergoing change. The Western world civilized the African nations, but the Dark Continent is now exerting its own brand of magic on its conquerors. David is one of a few white Sangomas, and he is my teacher. What you are about to witness is my initiation as a white Sangoma. The full moon is the high tide of psychic powers and is helpful in all types of magic. Life is short and often painful, and the true meaning is not made very clear to us. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Grant that I may not so much seek to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. Then miracle shall follow miracle, and wonders shall never cease.
The initiate, now known as a Twasa, enters the world of the Sangoma through misty portals, reaching back across a span of time in search for the inner self. There follows a period of intense self-denial and self-realization. The ritual of being painted white is symbolic of the spirits, and a bond is established with the forefathers. The next step on this spiritual journey is an experience in extreme discomfort, as the Twasa now has to sleep with the dead. The life of the Twasa is not an easy one, as the initiate is now extremely vulnerable to any form of impurity. A great deal of time is spent in the purification rites, which include the ritual of purging at 4 a.m. each day. The duration of the Twasa's training is anything from 3 months to 4 years. Early in this period, a sacrifice is offered to the forefathers. This ritual is often done for the fully ordained Sangoma, as well as the Twasa, and is presided over by the Inyanga, teacher. A herbal mixture in a cambi pot is vigorously beaten with a freshly cut cleft stick from any deep-rooted tree. The Inyanga calls upon the ancestral spirits for guidance and approval. Feathers are plucked from the sacrificial chicken and placed in all the attending Sangomas' headdresses, thereby sharing the spirit. The amount of foam that flows over from the cambi is an indication of a strong spirit. Blessings are done with great ceremony to various parts of the body. This is followed by the dance of the Sangomas with a chicken on the head, in order for the spirits to flow over one. Should the chicken fall off, it would be frowned upon by the forefathers. The ancient art of killing the sacrificial chicken is done by piercing its brain with one of its own feathers. This method is instant, even painless. The chicken is then skinned to provide a feather pelt and is treated with its own blood before being placed on a pole to dry and be admired. The pelt, now referred to as one's makosi, serves to house the ancestral spirits and is attached to the traditional headdress. New beliefs, customs, and situations, whether freely accepted or imposed, cannot sever the ties between past and present for the African society. They will consult a priest diviner or herbalist in the same way as we do a psychoanalyst or doctor. Like the bees, the Sangomas live in harmony with nature, spending their lives communicating with it, collecting and studying the untold wealth that proliferates on our doorstep. Nature is their playground, and there are cures and magic for every malady. A prayer is offered in thanksgiving to the blessings of the nature spirit for providing such a rich harvest. And impepo, an aromatic herb, is ignited by magic to cement the prayer. The Sangoma wanders happily through his own natural pharmacy, gathering moss on cool mountain slopes for healing infections and wounds. The bark of specific trees is chopped and steeped to produce a potion for purging and healing. Different plants are used to heal the body. Through study, remedies are discovered by extracting the healing magic of leaves and roots for different illnesses. Certain roots and bulbs are prepared as enemas. They are diluted the homeopathic way, as the properties are considered too poisonous to be taken orally. Here the Sangoma demonstrates the drying and boiling of interlesi for purging. The Inyanga demonstrates the various uses of the aloe plant. In its dried form, it has taken a snuff to clear the head to make room for the spirits. In its raw form, as a successful deterrent in the weaning of a child.
Nature says many things to many people. Let us heed its messages.
Our feathered companions at their tranquil best, wading and rejoicing with the water spirits. The snake is symbolically used as a test to overcome fear. Their poison is an antidote for snakebite. Homeopathically, the poison is diluted 1,000 times to counteract bone marrow diseases. According to folklore, the Creator sent a chameleon to promise man eternal life, and then changed his mind and sent a lizard instead, because the chameleon dawdled along the way. Chameleon skin, dried and ground, is a lethal poison used by witch doctors. The tortoise is considered to be a culinary delicacy, and its magic properties are a tranquilizer to go slow. The shell is utilized as a receptacle. It is believed that all descendants of the prehistoric ages were once play pets of the ancestors. The crocodile continues to be a fascination to all. The Sangoma studies the creature's habits in the hope that its elusiveness and ability to survive can be utilized in one's daily dealings with people of a treacherous nature. The animal kingdom is a personal encyclopedia for the Sangoma. And like a child of nature, he romps through this fascinating Disney world, gathering free information from plant and animal. Gratefully, he accepts the dung so generously supplied by the elephant to use in his magic potions, and delights in the unexpected close contact with God's creatures. The Sangoma is aware of his environment, as this is the pharmacy of life and the answer to man's needs. He learns from the animals with their acute senses. He is again faced with the simplicity of nature as he discovers that the herbs and grasses consumed by cloven-hoofed animals are fit for human consumption. And it is with wonder and humility that he worships the earth spirits. Inspiration and strength are what the Sangoma requires most to carry out his work. The lessons of nature lead to salutations to the Makosi spirits. Injured animals and birds are often found, and here a Sangoma takes care of a feathered friend, a messenger from the spiritual air world. Sangomas believe in the power of the sea, the water spirit. A sea prayer is held when the tide is right. This is a time to offer thanks to the sea spirits, this boundless ocean with its endless storehouse of life, and a time to wash away bad vibrations and gain strength, to lie in the arms of the great life-giving Mother. The priest diviners and their graduates place utter reliance on their ancestral spirits. The Sangoma's headdress serves as a power symbol for the spirits and as a Sangoma's personal identity. Hours of meticulous labor go into the making of this artistic expression of the spirits. The white bead is for purity, the red bead for the Indigi spirits. As the tresses of the headdress flow, so does the river of the initiate's destiny with the ancestors. The dream of the fight for the snake in the river is symbolic of the meeting with self and a confrontation with reality. This confrontation paves the way for the Twasa to continue on the spiritual journey as the old life dies and the new is born. The dawn of a new day is heralded by the mournful sound of the hippo drum. The sound is magnified by the peaceful silence of the sleeping crowd. The drum summons Sangomas and visitors from afar to join in this final and ultimate initiation of Sangomas. Through this initiation, the Sangoma is now known as an Ngoma. Like all religious gatherings, this event has its traditions and rituals. Dancing is part of the Sangoma training and the physical expression of their emotions.
All paths lead to God, and wildly will I dance. Would that you could live on the fragrance of the earth, and like an air plant be sustained by the light. But since you must kill to eat, and rob the newly born of its mother's milk to quench your thirst, let it then be an act of worship. And let your board stand an altar on which the pure and innocent of forest and plain are sacrificed for that which is purer and still more innocent in man. When you kill a beast, say to him in your heart, by the same power that slays you, I too am slain, and I too shall be consumed. For the law that delivered you into my hand shall deliver me into a mightier hand. Your blood and my blood is naught but the sap that feeds the tree of heaven.
The gallbladder of the sacrificial goat is inflated and tied to the newly ordained Sangoma's headdress. The skin is cut into crosses and bangles. Gall is smeared on the body as protection. Festivities continue through the night, with the youngsters setting the pace. The start of the big day is celebrated by spectacular dancing. The Sangomas communicate with the spirits by burning in pepper. The sacrifice is blessed. Very seldom is a cow sacrificed. This event is an ultimate accolade, limited to very few Sangomas. The fact that it has been offered on behalf of these white Sangomas, and there are only a few in existence, makes it an historic occasion. All parts of a sacrificed animal are used. The tail becomes a shorba, the Sangoma's magic wand. The spirit of the slain animal protects the wearer of its skin cross, with its depiction of the air, water, earth, and fire spirits. The crowd gathers to greet the chief and receive his blessings, in turn thanking him for accepting them into his community. Shlolo, or fortune-telling, is a consultation between doctor and patient. The Sangoma never discourages desire, ambition, or emotional need. That which can help to bring it to pass is hope and the magic of the spiritual healer. The Sangoma helps to make the patient aware of the belief and basic confidence in oneself, that which can bring outward or material results. The removal of black water, the African name for spells or curses, from a household is done in the form of exorcism. The Sangoma sends this spell back whence it came by sacrificing a black chicken. Brand new needles are stuck into the chicken's head in the form of a cross. A palaza muti is prepared and consumed in volumes by the entire household, and then expelled onto the dead chicken. The binding of a home and its occupants is used in the prevention of spells and curses. Sprinkling dry, clean river sand and interlazy water secures the house. The occupants are then individually inoculated and a muti applied against witchcraft. Cause and effect is a cut and dried case as far as the African is concerned, and bad luck or chance does not exist. The more we learn about the powers of the mind, the more we shall witness cures deemed impossible by the skeptics of this world. The Sangoma consults the spirits before attending to this advanced case of gangrene. This patient, at the time of filming, was facing the trauma of amputation of her leg. The ancient method of acupuncture with porcupine quills is used to stimulate and assist in the circulation of the blood. The Sangoma places maggots on the infected area. Maggots only eat dead meat, and this was the last hope of cleaning out the gangrene. He then blesses his work. This patient is suffering from an advanced case of psoriasis. The Sangoma treats the infection against further inflammation with moss. Reflexology and laser treatment are new and viewed with much amusement. Here the Sangoma uses ancient methods with modern techniques. Healing is a never-ending learning process and will remain a challenge to all who wish to help mankind.